Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 22nd Selectmen's meeting at the El Merritt Media and Cultural Center. We're starting a little early tonight because we had to postpone the prior meeting, and we have a fairly aggressive agenda, so let's get through that. At the beginning of our meeting, we announced that the meeting's being recorded and shown on cable television. And to start every meeting, we pledge allegiance, so if everybody please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the outset, I just want to let everybody know that on the original agenda, we were going to go over the school budget tonight and also go over a recap of the Fields project. Both of those have now been postponed to our next meeting. Our superintendent was sick and she couldn't be here tonight. And Mr. Bork, the chairman of the Fields Committee, got pulled out of town. So we'll bring those back at our next meeting. So to start out the meeting, we're going to start with our water commissioners. The first one will be a joint meeting with the Linfield Water District. And I'll just quickly read what this is about. Pursuant to Section 108B, Chapter 41 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Mass, this annual joint meeting between the Selectmen and the Water Commissioners is called to set the salary to be paid to the tax collector and the Board of Assessors for work performed for the district. Mr. John Harrington.
Everybody here, my name is John Harrigan. I'm on the board of the Linfield Water District. And I'll make the first motion. I move that Chairman Phil Crawford be nominated as chairperson of the annual meeting, joint meeting.
I second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Again, Mr. Harrington.
Okay.
I move that the reading of the minutes of the December 1st, 2014 annual joint meeting be waived.
I second.
All those in favor? Aye.
I'll just leave it on, okay, thank you. I move that the fiscal year 2017 annual compensation for services rendered to the Linfield Water District be set as followed. Tax collector $550, assessors $250 each.
All those in favor? Aye.
I move the meeting be adjourned, sine die.
I second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, appreciate it. Is, let's see, Mr. Kimball, there he is.
Yes, Chair.
There you go. Okay. Now we're going to have our meeting with the Linfield Center Water District. Again, I'll read the meeting purpose. Pursuant to Chapters 108B, Chapter 41 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the annual joint meeting between the Selectmen and the Water Commissioners is called to set the salary to be paid to the tax collector, the Board of Assessors, and the work performed at the district. Mr. Kimball.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jay Kimball, Commissioner of the Linfield Center Water District and also Chairman. With me tonight, Ken Burnham, Connie Lassesi, who are also commissioners. We have a little more of a group presentation because we like to include everybody. We hope you'll bear with us. It won't be more than an hour and a half.
Thank you, thank you. You will indulge.
Stay with me, I'm not over yet. Stephen, nice to see you. I move that Philip Crawford be nominated as chairperson of this annual joint meeting.
I second the motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
I move that the reading of the minutes of the December 1st, 2014 annual joint meeting be waived.
Kenny, you're up. There you go. All those in favor? Aye.
I move that the fiscal, Ken, you want to do this one?
I move the fiscal year 2017, the annual compensation for the services rendered to the Linfield Center Water District be set as follows. Tax collector $550, assessors $300 each.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. I move that this meeting be adjourned, sine die.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Kimball.
very much for the smile, James.
Mr. Kimball, thank you for your brevity.
We'll be back next year with our next gratuity vote.
What happened to the other hour and a half?
Well, I mean, somebody's got to.
Where's the hour and a half? I thought we were
running.
gonna-
Jesus.
Mr. Kimball, what happened to the other hour and a half? Thought we were gonna get Chinese food.
Yeah, no, don't, no, let's pull the microphone away from Mr. Kimball. Thank you. The next item we have is the change of manager for the Sagamore Golf Club. I think Mr. Luff is here to speak on that behalf.
Hi, I'm Richard Luff from Sagamore Golf.
Welcome.
I'm here this evening with Stephen Vaughn, our head professional and general manager, and we were seeking a change of manager approval from the Board of Selectmen.
Excellent.
Did you get the paperwork that was submitted?
We did.
You did, and I have an
Thank
extra
you.
copy here if somebody needs it.
Yep, no, we have it here. We've got your documentation that you sent in. We've all reviewed it, and I find no problem with this. The one question I have is in the preparation for this, is there do you have any tips training or serve safe type training that you go through for this? Even though it's just a beer and wine type license?
Yes.
Yes.
Beach of America, tips, serve safe,
Yep.
CPR.
Excellent, thank you. That was unclear here, so I just
Yeah,
want to make
and
sure
then
that.
anybody who is serving, we
Right.
have to go through the tips program as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah, that's what I just wanna
under
make sure.
Stephen's
Great, thank you.
management. Yep.
Yeah, no, otherwise I have no problem. I enjoy the golf course very much, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have a question. What is entailed to extend the season? Right now, I think we have an April 1st through December 1st license, and we were wondering what it would take to extend it to just when the golf course is open. So, you know, we had an extended season this year, and we had no alcohol sales in December as a result.
Well, it's a seasonal license, I don't know if that
Yeah.
can be extended, is there any provision for that? Yeah, we'd have to check with the ABCC if there's a provision for that, but I believe the seasonal license only goes for those dates.
Those days, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Excellent.
okay, but we can look into that.
Okay. Do you have a question?
Yeah.
And also, the duration of Sunday, I know we have a time restriction from noon on.
Mhm.
Is that a town of Linfield thing, or can we get extra hours, like, Saturday we can start selling beer and wine, like we open the facility?
Yeah.
I know.
You have breakfast beer? Yeah.
Like, can we get rid of that restriction, or should we start chewing away hours?
Yeah, again, I believe the seasonal license has specific hours, is that a
We'd have
town
to check with
restriction?
I mean, the state law has always been 12 o'clock. They passed a amendment to that a couple of years ago. The town would have to adopt it. I'm not sure if that applies to seasonal or not. We'd have to look into it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take a look at that.
Well, thank you very much. And so this will then go on to the state paperwork and filing.
Right, so I would entertain a motion for the change of manager at the Sagamore Golf Club.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for your time.
Stephen, good
I
luck.
just want to note that it's really important that you're tip certified. I'm sure you have a very rowdy group up there.
Blue collar, white stripe.
There you go. Thank you. Next, we have a change of manager, Tim Mescal. Welcome.
Good evening. Anne Marie Janine from Rebel Restaurants LLC, and this is Mr. David Lovett. So this is a change of manager to Mr. Lovett for Tabasco.
Great, thank you. I did review the paperwork. I see you certainly have plenty of experience.
Yes, sir.
You are Serve Safe and Tip certified, and of course, those are the things that we want to make sure that the alcohol consumption and the condition of your patrons is certainly overseen properly.
Absolutely.
And
Every
that's
team
it.
member is required to do tip certification before they start on the floor.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it. And I don't know if any of my other board members have any other questions, concerns?
I read
I
through
do
your
have the
application.
certificate if you need a copy of it.
We have one with
it?
the package. It was here. Yeah, thank you.
I read through your application. I see no problem with it.
Chris?
Same here.
Okay, I'll take a motion to accept the change of manager at Temescal.
So moved.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yep. Tonight, we also have a presentation by Munis on the financial reporting software. We've commented before that we were looking to get some newer software for our website, for a little financial reporting to be more transparent, to have something that's a little more user-friendly, and to have something that the residents could get right on our website and go through our financial condition. So we have, it's from Tyler Technologies, I believe?
Correct.
Yeah, Tyler Technologies is here, and they're going to do a PowerPoint presentation. So if you could just introduce yourselves, and I appreciate that. So welcome.
Yep, thank you everybody for having us this evening. My name's Karen Grossett. I actually sold the town the Munis software back in 2004 with the then town manager and Julie McCarthy back in the day. They did their due diligence, looked around and saw that Munis was a best of breed. We could integrate the financials, the payroll, and sorry citizens, but your tax bills and utility bills. But having that all in one package, it makes the towns very efficient, able to look up data quickly and process things as they need to. You're not alone, 155 towns and cities throughout the state use us as well. And what happened about 2 years ago is the city of Woburn applied for a grant with the state to bring the state's open checkbook system down into the Munis world. So we worked with them and developed this program. Adam Sewell and his group have done a great job, and we're going to show you that this evening.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Karen. My name is Adam Soul, and I'm with Tyler Technologies. And I'll show my first slide now. Thank you. So what is citizen transparency? Citizen transparency was recently developed as a response to the open government initiatives that public sector agencies are faced with today. Our goal is to provide you with a cost-effective solution that removes all of the effort and demand from your resources and offers your citizens the integrations and financial data that they demand. Some of the key points of our system: it's cost-effective, cloud-based service, so you save on infrastructure, hardware, licensing, web design, all of those things to integrate with your town site. Automated updates, we update data on a weekly or daily basis, depending on the needs for that municipality. Quality data, citizens can view spending details by category, department, government area, school functions, all of the needed answers that a citizen would look for. It's an internal tool. It's a great internal tool for administrative staff who aren't high-end users of Munis, for example. The site can be customized for your needs. We can set color themes, logos. We can protect sensitive data. For example, if there are any vendors that are sensitive vendors that are paid through the Munis system, we can protect those names. And it's a centralized citizen report tool. Places all of your published annual reports, budget reports, financial statements in one location. So why citizen transparency? Munis and Tyler Technology is a government industry leader. We have built-in seamless updates and integrations with your current software solutions. We can track trending and current year growth, allowing you to watch your growth throughout every fiscal year. How is your organization spending money now, and how is it trending compared to previous years? We have detailed reporting and export options, and we have simple navigation that your citizens will find very easy to comprehend. So I will jump into a demonstration of the website. And just want to note this is version 2 of our Citizen Transparency product. It's going to be available with Munis version 11.2. Currently, Linfield is on Munis version 10.5, but 11.2 will be rolling out and available this spring. So this would be an easy implementation with that version of Munis. From our homepage, there are a few customizable options. We can put the town of Linfield's city seal here. We can update the text. We can update this color ribbon above to match your town's website, so it seems like a seamless integration. The tiles shown here on the homepage are just high-level data that we find, and I hope your citizens would find meaningful. This is customizable. For example, if you didn't want to show your overtime pay, but wanted to show your base pay totals for a certain fiscal year, that's completely possible. If you don't want to show business license data, We can show other pieces of data in that place. Most of the integrations we've done so far enjoy showing both, the total revenues and total expenditures for that current fiscal year. I'll drill into some of the features of the site now. So what this is this is a breakdown year over fiscal year, showing your functions within your chart of accounts and how you're spending that money, the expenses versus budgets. And we can drill down even further if we wanted to take a look at public safety, for example. And these are your groupings of your object codes from your chart of accounts. So we can take a look at, and we can see your capital expenses for 13, 14, 15, 16, so on. And how you're doing based on budget, with the indicators, green being 0 to 85% of your budget met, 85 to 100 being yellow, and red over budget. And we can drill down even further on this table from capital. We can look at where those where the funds are actually funding those capital expenses. So you can see we have 3 funds funding capital within the public safety function. We can export any of these charts to PDF so they can be easily printed. And we can just open that up. So this can be printed for a meeting or for discussion later as an internal tool, or if anyone from your municipality wants to take a look at some of the data and print it out and possibly bring it to a meeting. That's completely possible. I'll just jump into a few of the other tiles on the homepage here. You can also take a look at overtime pay for the municipality. What we see here above are pay categories, which are groupings of your pay types. So there may be several pay types throughout your municipality where you have a pay type for your fire department overtime pay or your police department overtime pay. We group that together so it's easily consumable by your citizens. So we can take a look at year-over-year data for overtime. We could take a look at base pay. We could take a look at a combination of 2 different pay types and see how we're spending money year over year over the last 4 fiscal years. Again, any of these charts can be exported to PDF or be printed. As far as the main chart on this page, it's again year over year expenses and year over year revenues compared to expected revenues and budget for expenses. And we can drill down one further. Off of this chart, we can drill down and take a look at your functions based off of that fiscal year. So right now we're looking at your functions for fiscal year 2015, and we're looking at how your public works department is doing compared to budget for that year. We also, off of the homepage here, we offer the ability to enter text. It's really free form. We have a reference guide down below that explains to your citizens when your fiscal year begins and ends, and what the fiscal year data really means as far as where the spending or revenue collections are taking place. I'll jump into a couple of our overview pages now.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
Did I hear you say they have the ability to enter text?
We would ask the municipality when we're setting up the website during the implementation if they want to create a welcome message, explain what will be shown on the site.
Security's always an issue.
Oh yes, no, there's no way to edit the data or the text on the site outside of those people that are working with implementation. Yeah. So this is a expenditure dashboard. Is a quick view of expenditures by department, monthly expenditures, year over fiscal year, and then we have a nice expenses versus budget breakdown below. Again, year over year data. We can filter this data by a function group, or a fund, or a category, which are groupings of your object codes out of your chart of accounts. So we could take a look at general government, for example, and then the capital, yes, capital associated with that. And we can see how expenses are performing against budgets based off of these selections. We can also dive a little bit deeper into the data if we wanted to look maybe more at how spending is taking place, broken down by department. We have a department view page here. So these are groupings of your departments, very similar to your function groups. And we can take a look at, for example, public works spending. And then we have the breakdown of the individual departments that are spending within that within public works. And we can see year over year how that spending is taking place. We can export all these tables and charts to Excel or PDFs. We can change the type of chart. If we want to do stacked or side-by-side charting, it's possible too. So it just allows you to drill down into the data from a high level down to an even lower level. I'll also show you transactional details, which is the lowest level of detail of data we show, financial data. And this is, with these filters above, we can see right now we're showing all data for this municipality for fiscal year 2016. We can filter with all these groups above. We can filter by vendor name. And we can see all the different element types. It breaks down to the lowest level, which is check number. So you can see individual checks written out to specific vendors, grouped into funds or departments, transaction sources, whatnot. And we can filter from above. You can take a look, for example, at public works, see what type of spending, public works, and take a look at what spending they've taken part in over this fiscal year. We'll go with public safety. And we can look at ABC Fire, for example. And we see one line item there. It's a check made out for $77. We could also jump to a different fiscal year. We can jump to 2015, for example, and see that same vendor there were 2 checks made out to that vendor during fiscal year 15, totaling $110. So really a really low-level set of detail data, financial data that you can look at and your citizens can look at. Again, everything can be exported for printing purposes. I'll also go over the revenues page. Similar to the expenditures overview, this just breaks down data based on revenues as opposed to expenses. So, and then again, we can look at revenues versus budget or expected revenues. We can look at, for example, health and welfare, how we're performing against budget over those 4 fiscal years. And we can break down by, for example, one general fund as opposed to multiple funds. We also have a payroll overview, which gives a breakdown of payroll. In the tiles above, we see how many employees have been paid during the current fiscal year. Again, overtime pay, average earnings across your municipality, highest paid earners. And then we have pay broken down by those grouping of pay types, which I spoke about earlier. Base pay, which is the largest pay type, and then we have some of the smaller pay types, which are groupings of your pay, overtime, year over year, statistics again. Then we have your department groupings down below. Again, pay broken down by those departments across 4 fiscal years. So really showing throughout the site year over year comparisons with how you're performing from year to year by payroll, expenses, revenues, whatnot. And then I'll just show you a couple other items. We also have the ability to create custom reports. If there's a report that you don't see on the site that maybe is already in your CAFR statement, but you want to make it interactive and being able to sort it and filter it on your in a way that your citizens might find it appealing. We can create customer reports and place them within the menu here. We took a report that was from City of Stanton, Virginia, and we put it on their website here. Basically just a chart that came out of their CAFR, and we're able to set custom filters on this chart to be able to sort data how they see fit. We also have a FAQ question, so section. We can add in any questions you'd like. We have a standard set of questions that punch out to reports, like who's spending money citywide by department. You can click on that, and that punches out to a report. And you can see, well, these department groups, public safety spending for the current fiscal year, they have expenses of $5.6 million. Compared to last year's expenses, there's been a growth in expenses. Percent utilized, budget remaining. You can also look at how operations are being funded. So this is a breakdown of funds over fiscal years. It always defaults to the current fiscal year, but you can always look at previous fiscal years to see how expenses were broken out for those particular funds. And that's about the everything I have. That's the website in a nutshell.
Great. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that.
Any questions?
Adam, I just wanted to thank you for that, and Karen. But it seems to have a pretty good handle on everything we do in town here. You have comparative of years and data, and it's pretty intricate. I would imagine the upload of that is pretty simple, coming off of your current Munis data that we have already.
Yes.
Is there much input from the town side in addition to that, or is it pretty much load itself?
Yeah, so implementation process is relatively quick compared to what you had to go through with Munis a few years back. We can implement within 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
Sometimes even earlier than that. And the actual extract of the data, that setup takes about half a day, maybe even less. And then the implementation phase, we work hand in hand once we pull your data from Munis.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any sensitive data, if there are any vendors that their name shouldn't be shown for whatever reason, we can block that data or change the name of a vendor.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we could just call it simple vendor name not known or unknown vendor. So there's a lot of back and forth during the implementation process to make sure we're only showing the data that you truly want to show, and taking input.
Great. Do you have the ability to create some comparative data with other towns?
Yes, we do. Yeah, I was asked that question earlier.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We have some other municipalities in Massachusetts that are currently using the product, so that would be a customer report, but no additional fees or anything, and we could create that and put that under the other reports.
Would you download that from your current user group, or can you download from the DOR and compare us to? Because you want to compare yourself to like or similar towns,
Right.
size,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
everything.
I think we could probably do either.
Yeah.
We haven't explored that type of report before, but I don't see why we couldn't
Right.
create that type of report.
But right now, you would be able to do it with your other users.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Very easily. I would
Yeah.
think,
Oh, very easily. Yeah.
And my third question would be, what would be the cost of this?
I'll turn that over to Karen.
I had provided a quote, and as Adam said, the startup is pretty simple, and that one-time fee is $2,500,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really most of our heavy loading, us doing the heavy lifting in terms of getting the data, making sure it's passing back and forth, setting up the web pages, and making sure it looks okay up from your side of the house.
Yep.
And then the annual fee is $7,000, and we host this for you, so there's no need for any additional servers or licensing on your end. We handle all of that.
And all the updates and everything are automatic. And
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, and that also includes support. So that's what's your group? 8 in the morning till
Oh yeah, 5 at night.
till 5 at night.
Yeah.
So unlimited support through the 800 number and the portal online.
Excellent. Any questions from my board members? Tom?
Thank you for the presentation.
Oh, you're welcome.
And how, I noticed that you're drilling down almost similar to your open checkbook program. Is that what I sense there?
Yes.
So we wouldn't have the need to buy both?
Oh, right.
Oh, no, yeah. And Open Checkbook was basically Tyler Citizen Transparency version 1.
Okay.
So that was the first version of this software. And then basically we transitioned all that data we had already been collecting into version 2, which I displayed.
Okay. If we wanted to use somewhere in here, could we show year to year our audited financial statements and how they compare to budgets?
Yes? Yeah, definitely. That would be easy integration.
Okay, and then there are, a few other companies out there that offer comparative software. And what do you feel, the sense that I feel that where you're different is you're drilling down into our data. And then you're gonna offer comparisons that we choose. Is that what I'm?
Oh, as far
hearing?
as comparing to other
Custom
municipalities?
reports
Right.
or, oh.
Yeah, it's not, we haven't approached it from a comparison from town to town or municipality, county level government. So that would be something we would tackle probably in the implementation phase where we would have a discussion about maybe what type of data is best used for a comparison between municipalities or county governments, how that would look. So we would really probably work with the town to make sure we're showing the key data elements. I don't think we would break down, we'd probably do it on a high level. We wouldn't break down, obviously, do a vendor by vendor level from one town's paying
Right.
ABC police supply compared to Linfield. But I think we could do it on an expenditure level, high level revenue statements, seeing how that compares. Apples to apples, town to town. I don't see why we couldn't do something like that.
Could you break that down by department?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because departments are pretty standard based
Right.
on the size of a municipality. So I think we could break it down by department, by fund. There's some apples to apples fund comparisons we could do. General fund spending versus where those revenues are going based on fund. So I think we could very easily do it on a department level function, which is kind of a higher level grouping of your functions or your departments on a fund level as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
I really do like how granular you get. This is excellent.
Thank you.
I don't have
Yeah.
any more questions.
Oh, and I was just going to say to speak to part of your question as well. I think what sets us apart from the other vendors is, as you said, this is the data that we're managing. We understand it inside and out, and it's just easy for us to upload it
Right.
and manage it in this system as well.
Great.
So that's a nice distinguisher, as well as we do weekly updates. We can even do more frequent updates if necessary. Others will tend to do just yearly updates once you close your year, so you don't have any real-time comparisons throughout your fiscal year, so that helps a lot as well.
I would think that your programs would update perpetually.
We find that we do it on a weekly basis because a lot of payroll processing, when we're integrated with a payroll system that, are you all integrated with Munis Payroll?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we would, we find that because payroll runs and check runs are done usually on a weekly basis, maybe a couple times a week, every municipality we've worked with has decided to do it on a weekly basis, as far as the data refresh on the site. And we haven't, we could absolutely do it on a daily basis, but, we haven't been asked that yet.
It's probably overkill.
Yeah, it might be.
I think that's the thought process, yeah,
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
we get into the nitty-gritty of the implementation.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wayne?
Have you sold this version of your software to other towns?
Yes, there's a free upgrade from version 1 of Munis Citizen Transparency to the next version. So once our existing clients move to Munis version 11.2, then they'll automatically be updated to version 2 of Citizen Transparency.
So the one you're selling to us,
Yes.
or you want to sell to us, have you sold that to other towns?
No, what
No.
he's showing is the release that's gonna come out in April, because we wanted to show you all the latest and greatest features. So it's just a couple months away, but you can look at like Woburn and Arlington. They're on, the concept's the same in terms of being able to drill down to the data. The look and feel might be a little different, but they're currently utilizing it. Plymouth and some other folks. We've got Plymouth, Woburn, Arlington.
And Great Barrington is in implementation phase right now, as far as towns in just in Massachusetts.
So we can use the open record law to get a copy of their purchase orders to see if you're offering the same price to them as you are to us.
Yeah, our pricing goes.
You could, yeah, absolutely.
None of the pricing is consistent across the state.
I think he's in the county.
You can look and see what they paid.
Yeah.
But just an FYI, our pricing on the financial side, which this falls under, it's categorized based on towns' operating budgets. Payroll's based on number of employees and revenues based on parcels.
Variation, perhaps?
There is some variations, yeah.
Yes.
It's based on categories.
Well, I'll play back the recording and get the town name.
We also,
Yeah.
I mean, outside of
I can write it down
Massachusetts,
for you.
we have the city of Buffalo, New York, for example. Yes, we have.
Have you been paid?
Yes, we have. Yeah,
Good for you.
yeah.
Good for you.
That was actually a very seamless implementation.
Any other questions? Mrs. Campbell?
I was struck by the statement, if you don't want to show overtime, you can just show base pay. That seems to be the antithesis of transparency. So my question, I guess, is, you get the inputs from the town.
Mhm.
Who in particular is in charge at the town level?
Well,
Town
you
administrator?
need to tell us. Yeah, we can be as transparent as you want us to be. We have that information, we can show it all. If there's certain information that the town says they do not want to show, then we won't do that. But that's something that the town is going to have to tell us.
Well, that's not a step in the right direction.
Mrs. Campbell, that would be run by the town administrator and our town
Uh-huh.
accountant. That's who would, obviously would run it.
And
Does the payroll figures include both the town side and the school side,
it can absolutely.
the individual?
Yeah,
But it can if they ask you to show it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and we could.
So it's
we could
all
even-
under control of the town administrator.
We work with the town administrators to
Uh-huh.
make sure we're showing the data.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously it benefits the town to be as transparent as possible. We always, when we're starting the implementation process, we start with everything. It's a complete open book. And then sometimes, for example, we were working with the city of Woburn, and they have welfare payments that are made out to veterans. And state law states that they cannot show those names of those veterans
Right.
that are receiving the payments. They're on the vendor
Right.
line of the check.
Yeah.
So we make sure that we're not showing that name. So we're not necessarily taking away data, we're just making sure that it's sensitive so that there's not information that shouldn't be going out.
So in a payroll situation, you would talk about the position at the high school or the position
Absolutely,
in the towns, on the town side, rather than by name.
right.
Yeah, they would have that choice.
Yes, absolutely. We could show every employee and their payments over 4 fiscal years, or we could show just the names of those titles within certain departments as far as payroll data goes.
Because I know in Lynn, where I worked, our salaries were published in the newspaper
Oh, yes.
by name,
Mhm.
person's name. So how long have you been doing this particular program?
We've been working with Citizen Transparency since 2013. We've offered it since 2013.
So your figures would go back to 2013
Oh, yes, yes,
for a town?
yes.
Well, no, I mean, you're hitting their data, and the town's data goes back.
Oh, yes, sorry. I think I
Okay.
misunderstood, yes. Yes, we could
Okay.
show more than just the 4 fiscal years.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
As long as they've had munis, we could show that data.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Steve, go out the mic, please. Works better than yelling from the back of the room.
I just put this in my back pocket. I don't know if you guys have any mobility requirements. Do you guys work with iOS and other operating systems?
Yes, yep. We work with all mobile systems right now. Amazon's mobile systems, Apple, iOS, all of the above, really.
So these folks and whoever could access things remotely if they needed to?
Absolutely.
Any
yeah.
other security that needs to be added if you're accessing remotely? Anything that need to be placed on the
There's
mobile
an
device?
initialization that it's basically a landing page anytime you first go to that website using any device, and we just require you to click on a button, and it takes you, it's basically seamless authorization from there.
Right.
And there's no ability for anyone within the public to edit anything on the site. They can download the data and download it into an Excel spreadsheet, but you can't manipulate any of the data or any text on the website.
Okay. I just noticed you guys had your earnings call. Congratulations on a good quarter and looks like a good year.
Oh, thank you.
I noticed there's a sizable chunk of top-line revenue associated with maintenance. In the quotes that you were giving a moment ago about the licensing costs and an annual fee on top of that, is there any other maintenance costs associated with the license that the town would need to pay for?
No, not at all. And that upfront cost is just services. It's the implementation, as I said, to make sure your data's going back and forth, and we set it up to how you want it to look like. And then that annual fee incorporates the maintenance, the upgrades, the support,
Okay.
and everything.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Any other questions? No? Seeing none, I want to thank you. Appreciate it. It was
Thank
very,
you.
very good presentation. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda tonight will be the discussion of our proposed war memorial from Mr. Kimball. Welcome, Jason.
Well, thank you for having me tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to come here and discuss some different proposals with the board and the public. A while ago, I reached out to some of the selectmen when I was stepping down as a veteran service officer and said, well, there's still a few other things I wanted to help. And although my schedule is pretty busy, this will still allow me to get involved and help out. I've spoken with Bruce Siegel, our new veteran service officer, and he likes the concept and likes the way we're going with this. And basically what I'm going to be requesting of the Board of Selectmen is that we appoint a committee to oversee the war memorial change, okay? And by change, what I mean is we need some improvements. I don't recall the last time anyone's been added to the war memorial, but we're basically missing about an entire generation of veterans in town. And there's always your onesies and twosies, from Vietnam or World War II or Desert Storm that are not on the plaque. And what you often run into, as we're running into now on our plaque, is you have World War II and then Vietnam starts. Well, how do you slip people in there? We have to get a separate plaque, and it becomes it's not pleasant on the eye and really not what we should be doing for our veterans here. So what I proposed is, and I believe I sent a letter to the chairman, Mr. Crawford. I'm not sure whether the other selectmen have had an opportunity to take a look at that yet, but basically what I would propose is that we put together a 5-member committee, one chair, and the idea would be to meet monthly or as often as needed to get ideas from the community. Public hearings, compliance with open meeting law, all the usual good things that we're supposed to be doing. Gather those ideas and have a couple rough meetings and presentations with the Board of Selectmen and say, this is the feedback that we've got. What do you like? What don't you like? Point us in a general direction. And then eventually the idea would be to put together 1 to 3 plans that we would present to the Selectmen, at which point in time you would either approve, disapprove, send us back to the drawing board. And once we get to that point, we could then make a determination what funding would be once we have approval. Can't figure out funding, obviously, until we know what we're going to do. And to give the board an idea, in Wakefield, they redid the World War II memorial within the last 7 to 10 years. And they raised $250,000 by way of private funds just by selling bricks. You have Phil Crawford for his uncle, where your dad was a Marine. Mm-hmm. So, for your dad, Marine or whatever. And you can have different echelons of brick sizes, payment donations. So I would be pretty hard. I mean, we're not looking to really necessarily make a massive, gigantic war memorial here, but I think we can probably handle this with private funding, is really what I'm hoping for. And I know I've already spoken to the Rotary Club about it. They're on board, and I know they'll be instrumental with helping us with fundraising and everything. So I think this will get a lot of traction, and I think it'll be nice because with the public hearings, as far as receiving input from people, I think people, citizens of Linfield, will have a hand in the redevelopment of this. So I think it'll be a good thing, and we can really bring our war memorial up to speed. So I think it will be a great thing, and happy to entertain any questions or concerns or whatever might be out there.
Well, thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. There was a couple things we talked about in addition to just setting up the committee. We talked about the location
Right.
of the memorial, and we talked about who might be available to get on the memorial, other than somebody that was born in Linfield and people that have lived most of their lives here. That would like to be on that, but didn't happen to be born here. So are those the discussions that the committee is also going to have and be able to get down to maybe a definitive location where you want to put it? Maybe if it's not, the premier spot might not be where it is. Maybe, and then allow who you might allow on that, so we can have enough space.
Sure, I can answer both questions. Number one, the public hearing piece is so people can submit their request to the commission, okay, or to the War Memorial Committee. At that point in time, what we would do is probably have some rough plans to bring to you guys, saying, hey, this is the general direction that we're going in, okay? If this is a general direction the board doesn't like, you say, okay, you would rather steer go in this direction. But the idea would be to have a no-kidding soup to nuts actual plan that we would present to you, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, however, whatever different plans you come up with, because we might come up with a great concept, but then the remaining issue might be the location, okay? I mean, there's the current location. The challenge is if people want to take a look at it from a historical sense, there weren't war memorials on an old colonial common way back when. The other challenge, too, is depending upon the extent of how large we make this. I've already been in touch with the Bostonian Society, and they want to donate a colonial-era American Revolutionary War cannon for our common, which is great. So we have some real opportunity here to really make this a very robust war memorial. So the next question becomes, okay, where's our space? Where's this going to go? Well, we have the option, too, of going across the street on the common, where I believe it's now the Historical Center is what it's called. That also can certainly work because you have the Memorial Day Parade coming down from the middle school. You stop at one graveyard, stop at the next, then you can stop at the War Memorial. So on that side of the common, there's a tremendous amount of space, okay? And, when I've been involved in various things in the common, we don't really utilize that, whether it was the Rotary Barbecue Chicken Concerts in the Commons. And that space, I hate to use the term dead space, but underutilized would probably be a proper term. So you have that as an option as well. And then you really have, if you're on that side of the common, obviously you have a tremendous amount of space to work with. But, that's a little further down the road, I think. I think we need to get, some feedback from the public and, get the ultimate approval from the selectmen. But as this board remembers, I did put together criteria for getting onto the War Memorial when I was a sitting veteran service officer. So if I remember off the top of my head, that criteria basically, and it mirrors a lot of other communities, which is if you're born in Linfield and you enlist or go to your officer training out of this community, then you rate a spot on the War Memorial. But as we discussed, I'm a firm believer in discretion. So, that discretion is held by this board as it stands right now. So whether the current veteran service officer wants to go back and change that criteria, however you guys want to do that is fine. My position here is just to facilitate the process of redeveloping the War Memorial. As far as who rates to be on it, I submitted our current, standard operating procedures as far as that goes. If that wants to be changed, that's fine. I mean, the idea of having discretion at the local level is very important, I think, because as you said, you might have someone that might have enlisted out of Wakefield when they're 18, but they've lived in this community for 60 years. That person's really a pioneer. So, and we can change that however you want to do that. So, but that's probably something that you'll be working with the current veteran service officer on. So.
Right, and I know there's many people in town that are under that circumstance. They weren't born here, but they spent most of their life here. And
my wife falls into that category.
Yeah, yes,
I know all about
I think that was something we got to look at.
Right.
But I certainly applaud you for putting this together and bringing this forward. And I certainly would open it up to any other questions from my board members.
I think this is a great concept. When you first brought it up, I was very thrilled with it. I think the protocol, I think, is going to be probably the most difficult part of this. I think everybody's going to want to have it. If someone's willing to put their life on the line for this great country and for our freedoms, God bless them, and we should do all that we can for them.
I agree.
But more importantly, the protocol to make it fair and reasonable for everybody will probably be the most daunting task.
There's no question, which is why we kind of put together, like, I think when I presented the concept a while back, I think, Tom, you had said, I looked from here to Virginia, and there was one community in Virginia that actually had a doctrine. So I think we're probably the only entity that has doctrine from here to Virginia is what it sounds like. So every scenario is going to be different. Is there a hard cutoff? No, because what's the ultimate test? Did this person go and serve their country? Yes. So are you going to say no? How do you figure that out? Probably no. So I think it would probably be fair to say that if you are not on some other community's war memorial, then that's okay. But again, that's something that our elected officials unfortunately get to decide. I mean, I'm happy to make recommendations that I did when I was a veteran service officer, but I'm very fluid as it comes to that. I mean, I get the direction from you folks on that. So
I just want to thank you for bringing this great cause forward.
absolutely.
I have to concur with my fellow selectman Jason. First, again, thank you for your service to our nation, the veterans in Linfield. I can't, Selectman Terranova said so well. If you're willing to put your life on the line, they deserve that recognition. How large do you envision this memorial to be? Certainly since Vietnam, we've had a couple of other wars and soldiers who deserve recognition.
It really depends upon how you define size. I mean, what we have right now is basically we have a piece of granite with names on it, okay, which is very basic, very small, okay. Again, if we have entities like the Bostonian Society that want to donate cannons and all these great things, I mean, obviously that could get larger in size. So, again, which is why really running this through committee is the right choice. Okay, getting some public input, having a variety of meetings here and there with the selectmen to say, hey, this is the direction that we're going. This is the footprint we're looking at. The basic core concept would have to be something similar to. You'd have probably a walk of fame with a little, bricks that people could purchase to donate, for the construction of this. And then you would probably have different granite pieces, one for World War II, and then you have a space and you have one for Vietnam. And then behind it, you would have another World War II one. Reason being is you can add your add-ons behind it. You're not stuck at the end of World War II. You're stuck with Vietnam. So it doesn't, it could be from here over in half of this room. It's really all in how far we want to develop this and take this, really, and how big we want to make it. If you go to Wakefield, they have a huge, gigantic war memorial. It's wonderful, but they have a lot of space over there, too. In that little center, you have the triangle with a Minuteman, then you have the World War II one behind it, and they might even have a third war memorial. So this can be as big or as small as we need. But the idea is to get it right and to upgrade it and to allow so we don't have 3 different Desert Storm plaques. We have one continuous, working war memorial.
Right, I agree. That's great. Any questions from the audience? Anyone? Well, I would certainly entertain a motion to present to put together a committee of 5, as suggested by Mr. Kimball, and we could take letters to Town Hall of anyone interested. So if anyone would like to make that motion.
So moved.
I second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
So anybody would like to be on the War Memorial Committee, please send your letters to Town Hall, attention Bob Curtin, and then I would say probably in about a month, we'll take a look and see what we have, and we'll reconvene and talk about it and maybe get a committee put together.
Sounds great.
Right?
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you, Jason.
so much.
Appreciate it. Next on the agenda is our Recreation Commission budget presentation.
I'm fixing to do it, I'm just gonna work them.
You're working it?
Behind the scenes.
Frank, you want to come up?
I do better with children.
You do a great job with them. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody.
Thank you. Frank, why don't you introduce yourself?
Frank DeLisi, I'm a member of the Recreation Commission.
Okay. So we gonna have a PowerPoint presentation or a
Yes.
slide presentation? Okay.
I hope so. There we go.
Thank you.
And I'm presenting the proposed budget for 2017. On the agenda is the current department overview, review of 2015, the department objectives, plan, goal, and 2016 as well.
Okay.
We have a 7-member panel chaired by Matt Munkowitz. Frank Morelli is the treasurer, and then the remaining members up on the board. We have a full-time recreation director, Julie Mallett, and then a part-time fields coordinator, Joe Maney. Julie's part of the town budget, and Joe is funded through the revolving account. So as you see there, Julie is the only town employee. We have 3 employees who work through they're self-funded. Michael Ween, Patricia Hazelton, and Michelle Robert. They take care of programs as they come up. They are not town employees per se. Just some of the activities that we've held over the last few months. Summer excursions, the father-daughter dance, mother-son bowling, etc. And then a list of the programs that we held for 2014 and 2015. The recreation station is probably is definitely the largest that we have, along with the recreation station junior, the tree lighting, excursions to Cocoa Keys and movies and whatnot. It's a pretty extensive list. It's also, they can all be found on our internet site. And our vision is to enrich the lives of Lynnfield residents through abundant quality programs, events, fields, and facilities. Our goals are to increase annual participation by 20%, establish a fields maintenance standards for or by calendar year 316, and then we want to add 1 community event that attracts 1,000 people per year. So a large event in addition to the excursions and the other events that we take on. To do this, we are developing a fields operations and maintenance guide. We're creating new programs and enhancing existing programs both through our organization and other community organizations. We're looking to establish a rec space to begin to serve the community, and we're trying to optimize our financial reporting and the technology infrastructure. For 2016, again, increasing the participation, improve 1 existing program. The tree lighting, we're into phase 2 on that. We're hoping for the Lynnfield Country Fest, the fields usage policy and fee structure, and then work with the Capital Needs Committee to develop a recreation center vision, and we finalize the field maintenance plan with the DBW. The budget for 2015, and I apologize, this isn't as up to date as we would have liked. We got some last minute information. For the director position, we had 44,880, and we were proposing the 47,380. We were proposing that because we wanted to take 3 steps to get to 52,000, which is what we had pictured as the salary for the recreation director. What we found was that as a survey of local communities, the 47,000 is by far the lowest. We talked to North Reading, the recreation director there, Lynn Clemens, and she's currently being paid at 54,000, and she has a staff of 4, which basically all 4 people do the same job that our current recreation director does. So I think in fairness, she would still be the lowest paid recreation director in the area. Salaries currently range from 60,000 to the high 70s. So I think that's what we're shooting for now, rather than the 47.3.
So Frank, so that's this absolute bargain we're getting for the town of Lynnfield. I can just imagine comparing the amount of activities that Lynnfield Recreation currently has. I mean, it's impressive, and This is the fact that a full-time and a part-time staff member does the work that they do. Is this three-step over 3 years?
That was our original goal. What we're hoping for now is just to take it in one step and go to the 52 right now.
That would be my recommendation on that. I would think that, certainly, I think we get a lot out of that one position right now, to take it over 3 years. I wouldn't want to lose the person we have in that position.
Absolutely. So from a participation standpoint, we increased our sport participation from 418 to 551. The excursions, we had a huge jump in from 294 to 1091. Concerts remained kind of level. The recreation station has increased, and I think we're anticipating this year to increase even further. And the miscellaneous is really the tree lighting and some of the other activities that we run, father-daughter and mother-son. And we saw roughly a 10% increase in that this year as well.
What caused the big jump in the excursions? Was it more being offered, or just the?
It's a combination of more being offered, and
Yeah.
we're getting more penetration into the community.
Right.
Is it also the early release days? That we're seeing some of those early release days for those excursions?
And we did this summer, last summer we did 3 trips per week. So the kids do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Thursday we go to Sunapee, do zip lining or whatever we do. And every Wednesday we go to the beach unless it rains, and then we went.
So that's on those early release days?
No, but that was a summer.
Oh, summer program.
Summertime.
And then now we do early release that I get to go on because my teachers have to stay for early release. So I chaperone the early release days on Wednesdays and take the kids wherever we go.
That's impressive.
And whatever, so. It's more to come.
So what programs are you looking to add on this year, if any? Have you had some other ideas for the upcoming year?
We've had some preliminary discussions, but
I have a lot of summer programs. I have a first ever brochure, I think is gonna come out from the
Yeah.
summer rec program with spring and summer activities, so I'm still working on my summer, but I have a lot of summer stuff coming up.
Would the community event that you want to add every year, would that be a summer? Yeah, that's your country fest?
That's our country fest.
Yeah, okay.
Was that what Mark Panzini was talking about years ago?
Country Fest? I don't know. Matt's been high on
He
this.
wanted to bring in singers and have a little competition.
Oh, Battle of the Bands, yeah, he was,
Right.
yeah, Battle of the Bands. This would be a full-on Country Fest.
it's more of a concert than it is a competition.
We know Matt likes the bands, so.
Yes, yes.
Now, the big thing that's incorporated several departments is the maintenance, the final maintenance standards for the fields. And I know that's being worked on by several people all at once. And the Fields Committee is still working on it. I know the school department's working on it, DPW. We're trying to nail that down. I would love to see that in place by the end of March. I know you noted it here. It'd be great to have that in place, and so we could have that agreement and know what the is expected from everybody. And, we know who's responsible.
We know who's
Yeah, just what's expected from everyone, and who's going to take care of all these fields and improvements that we've done, and what, if any, that we have to contract out in addition to our DPW labor. So it'd be great once we can nail that down.
I'm confident we'll nail it down by
Yeah,
next month.
I'd love to see that, and I'll probably attend the next meetings. I know it's coming close, and it's going to be a big task for the DPW to see what they can get done, and then once we nail that down, then we can see what we can do for our contract side. So that's great. Any other questions on numbers yet?
It's just exciting to see the growth back when I was on it and Chris was on it, and we had a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of growth. I see a lot of new programs, some old ideas mixed in with new ideas. It's really awesome. One idea that I really wish Matt was here was we talked quite a bit about a recreation facility to try to do something for the kids.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna look at putting a library down over by Reedy Meadow, that would be a great spot for a recreation facility. Because since we already have one other golf course, that maybe that back golf course that space could be all converted to green space. Put a nice walking path in, people could look over Reading Meadow, look at the birds, the whatever else, all the wildlife back there. Be a great place for people, for all the kids to play, adults to go, give all the fields a chance to rest, before we, as we continually use and abuse all of our grass fields. It'd be nice to give them a break and use that space since we already have it. If I recall right, during that study, Kevin, wasn't the number one request was a walking trail? And putting a walking trail back there would eliminate the issue of the rail to trail. All the people that don't want people walking through their backyards. This could put people out in a very pretty area, looking at all the wildlife, a lot of fresh air, and they can enjoy the kids playing.
I
in
love
the
Virginie
fields.
Central right there.
I think it'd be a great location.
Plenty of parking
Yeah.
right there. You could sit inside the library, look outside, watch the kids, have some fun. I think it would be a great thing. Let's do it. So, great job, everybody. Really happy.
Chris?
No, I think the one thing is, I think if we could take that one step with the compensation and the work you're doing, it's still, I think, comparing it to other communities, is still far low. And we're getting a bargain for what you're doing. So you're really doing a tremendous job, so thank you.
And I didn't realize we said look around.
Hey, you guys do a lot, it's amazing.
Mrs. Campbell?
Country Fest, is that country music? Cool. Don't forget, it's not just for the kids. Are your activities covered by insurance? When you said zip lining, that's how my brain.
Well, it depends on different places have their own waivers that the parents have to sign, absolutely.
Okay.
We have town insurance for whatever we do, but if they do a special activity, whether it's sky zone, zip lining, the rock wall climbing, which we're gonna do this, earlier this day, it's all a separate waiver that the parents have to sign and we keep a copy and we give to the
Great.
place. Yes.
Okay. As far as the field maintenance standards go, the selectmen had a dad come to a meeting, and he talked with concern about the fact that his son had pellets, the rubberized pellets in his nose and in his ears, and he was concerned about that. It's widespread, I guess, not just on the AstroTurf like I originally thought, but also on the green fields, the grass fields, the sod fields. So, and there's two national groups that are studying the rubberized pellets. So is there anything that you're doing to keep an eye on that? And also I'm concerned about the rubberized pellets going into the wetlands, which are nearby.
Not that I know of, that where, anyone?
I think that's probably more of a question for DPW than it is for us.
Joe, do you know?
Well, the current fields are under the schools, and that's certainly under their jurisdiction, and then there is no other fields in town that have rubber pellets, so. And I know the drainage and everything that was put in place was to limit any type of, other than sticking to people and walking out with them, it doesn't get into the water systems and whatnot, other than a little bit of splash over it gets, but we've had to use very little of the additional pellet mix that we have. And I don't know how quickly you're expected to use it, but we all know when you play on it, it's stuck on you. It's in your shoes. It's stuck on your calves. It's on your elbows. It does come home with you. And if I could implore everybody to brush it off as much as possible before they get off the fields, it'd be best. But we know that's how it works. They've been going on for years that way. But the studies and there's been no studies that have been brought forward to us that would contradict the original studies that we had when we got the fields put in.
Right, it was just on the national news that the EPA and one other federal organization are checking into it.
Right.
It's a concern of mine because I don't really think it takes rocket science to figure out that what they have in tires could be toxic. So I hope that our future fields don't use those. I can't understand why plain old sod wouldn't be fine. as long as we're careful with the rotation of the fields, that we're not renting it out so much that people can't, they don't rest, like you mentioned a few minutes ago.
Have
The
you
oth-
thought about talking to the health department?
Pardon me?
Our health department, maybe she could help you out with some of those questions.
Yeah. Well, early on when the proposal was made for the AstroTurf, I asked Mr. Bork, who was leading the discussion, about that, and he just reassured me that they were safe. But now I'm hearing parents that are concerned about what's tracked home, even though they try to get them to wash them off before they go. At least in Mr. Crawford's house, right?
I would like to.
Um,
Dump your shoes out before you leave.
And the other thing is, in the school department, there are national background checks done to make sure that people are safe to be around children. And I'm wondering if the recreation department does that, because all of these people are working with children. And I remember vividly going to Augusta with the Maine PTA, and they had a fingerprint thing on the books in order to do the national background checks, and they hadn't implemented it. And what some people wanted was that it wouldn't be implemented. When they did implement it, they found over 1,000 people working in the Maine public schools who had some shady backgrounds. So you never know. So I would just think it would be part of the policy to do some national background check. It used to be
Anybody-
Corey check, and that was just state.
Anybody who works with the elderly or children are required to have a background check.
Okay, so that would include the recreation
That
department.
includes the recreation department.
And I don't think it would be, I don't know who would pay, if it would be the individual, but I'm sure it can be implemented through the schools because they already have that in place, as you would know, Mr. Barrett.
I mean, I agree. I think obviously the Corey check, but now the school departments, we have to do the fingerprinting for this license. I'd be in favor certainly of having even fingerprinting, as you said, is go above and beyond, check the background of anybody working with
Right.
with our children.
Most of the staff are teachers, Linfield teachers.
So-
And the
so
rest are high school seniors, and we do the queries on the seniors, because when we do
Uh-huh.
a background check on them.
And how about the Recreation Commission people? They're working with children, right?
Them? No. They come to my meetings.
They
They don't run programs.
They don't run programs, they just, they
They just direct.
oversee me, is what they do.
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
So where would you put that?
We have a few ideas on that.
I'm busy.
Are you offering your yard?
Yeah.
Steve?
Just a quick thing, Julia, there's so much great success out of what's coming out of the rec program. Whenever I see an activity, the first thing I do is check to see what is my kid doing and is there a conflict.
I know.
I'd love to be able to see, and this isn't just necessarily rec, but to see a town calendar, especially around activities potentially integrated with some of the youth sports. Kids are participating in 2, 3, 4 sports in a season, and it'd just be a lot easier to try to see if you could have something in one view. And I'm sure that if you talk to some of the local youth sports groups, they'd be willing to try to see if they could figure something out there too, because parents, when they're not trying to figure out flag football, lacrosse, and, great recreational activities, it just makes their lives probably a lot easier. I don't have a solution for it, but maybe there's an opportunity to.
If there is a solution, I'm more than willing to plug anything in, so, I have 3 kids too, and my kids can't do everything for the rec because they're too busy, so they're not happy about it, but.
It was easier several years ago because there weren't that many activities. But now there's so many great activities, it's almost a problem. You have to figure out, okay, where is this gonna fit into the calendar? And the other quick question I had, you guys do a lot of great things with the youth sports. Has there been any feedback or questions about more adult-oriented recreational activities? And I'm not sure necessarily what those might be, but.
I'm trying to do some
Other
more
than the ones
adult
in the bank
trip
things that
kind
are
of
free
things,
testing.
and not like, because the basketball has their own little basketball group, big softball has a softball group, so I haven't been approached. I'm more, you wanna do something, come to me, if we can do it, we're gonna do it. So I haven't had anyone come to me. I know I do wanna do more adult trips, or day trips, or a night thing, or something like that, that I've been working on forever.
One great thing that Julie's trying to implement is a cornhole tournament for adults.
Yes.
Has the Elks called you back yet?
Elks did not call me
Oh.
back. I want to have a cornhole tournament at the Elks for the adults. But I called them. We'll have to make that trip over, so.
Well, Julie, I think it's that can-do attitude that I hope that the budget that we finally propose moves beyond the one step, goes 3 steps, and we get to that compensation that she deserves, so we can keep giving her more activities.
Yeah, give them more to do.
Thank you.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah, just if they're gonna update their budget, I need that as soon as I can get it. Because I'm in the final stages of putting my budget together, so they need to get that to Colleen if they're gonna amend their salary request.
You guys.
I'm probably busy, Country Fest weekend. Well, no. And just for Tom, there is a very nice walking path at the golf course now, Tom. You just have to carry golf clubs when you're on.
Yeah. Chase a little ball around. Any other questions? No? Julie, thank you for all the work you do, and thank you for that. Frank, thank you. Appreciate it. Good, nice presentation.
Julie.
I'd like to thank the rest of the board, members that are here. Joe, thank you for all your work. I know it's one of those thankless jobs. Yeah, no, it's going good. The field's running well. What do we got next? Next on the agenda, we have our appointment of our election officers. I've got a list of 6 new elections officers as requested by Trudy Reed, our town clerk. And I'll just read those off. Kathleen Wodovich, Teresa Bernstein, Elaine Lowy, Beverly Merritt, Hedwig Sani, and Kristen Shinnick. So I'll take a motion to approve them as additional election workers.
I have a question before we do that. What is the protocol that we go through to get election workers? Is it just whoever asked to do it, or is there a request form, or how does this happen?
I think it's through Trudy's office. If she needs election workers, she kind of puts out the word that she's looking for people to help out, and people come in and volunteer, and she vets them and sends them up to us.
Okay.
Have any people been rejected or not taken, or, and are they all Linfield residents?
They're all Linfield residents, yes. I don't know if anything's been rejected, but these are the 6 that she's proposed to us for approval. I have no idea, but
Because if there's people that have been left behind, it would be interesting to know what the process is.
yeah, well, we can get that information. But since we have some election work coming up very shortly, we'd like to get them on board. So I take a motion to approve these 6 new election workers.
So moved.
Second then.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to thank them for volunteering. Okay, next one is the request for deficit spending in the snow and ice account. Hard to believe, we haven't had any this year, but there's been enough to use up our minimal budget that we put out there, and I understand that that Andrew has put forward a request at $162,000, but that was not the total. Is he given a amount larger than that?
He has not given me the final. This is based on about a week ago.
Yep.
So we've had actually some extra expenses. We only budget 120.
Mhm.
Generally, by the time you buy salt and sand and get everything ready, you spend about half your budget. People tend to look at how much snow has fallen as opposed to when it falls and the duration of those storms when we look at snow and ice. So Sunday snow and ice is double time.
Yep.
And nights and weekends obviously more expensive than if it falls between 8 and 5 on a Friday through Monday. So we are in deficit. It has been a pretty good year, but there's still been a lot of activity for the guys in the Public Works Department.
Sure.
So we're only 42,000 above budget at this point.
We've had another plowing incident since then, Tom, so we're probably a little more than that. I'd say we're probably, that was a nighttime storm, probably had 10 grand of that, I would say.
But are we just going to be looking to do the 42 at this point?
Well, the statute just speaks to authorizing deficit spending.
Okay.
Under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 31D, the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee have to authorize the deficit spending.
Okay. I'll take a motion to authorize the deficit spending.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And just for people watching, there's only one other account that can be deficit spent legally, and that's veterans' benefits.
Okay. At this point, I'd like to open the annual town meeting warrant. I'll take a motion to open the warrant.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. From now, we can take warrant articles, place them on the warrant for the town meeting. And one of those items that's is our next item is the to refer the zoning articles to the planning board for a hearing. Alan Dressios of the planning board has sent us in some changes to our zoning articles. And it's the duty of the board to send them back to the planning board for a public hearing. And they can discuss those changes at that point. So at this point, I'd like to make a motion to, well, is there anyone here to discuss it from the planning board? You know, there's no one here, because I would really like them. I know Wally, you'd like to talk about it, but I thought somebody in the planning board might be here to present it. But typically what we do is just present them, they're presented to us so we can forward them to the planning board for a public hearing.
So, are you gonna take any comments or questions?
I will. I know if there's, a lot of it is housekeeping, and if, for the layman first looking at it, it's a little confusing. And I had town council take a look at this, and he put it in a more user-friendly format, and he presented that back to the planning board for their review when they do their public hearing. So it isn't the final version at this point. So if you'd like to make a comment, Wally, you can come up and make a comment on it. We've got a lot of it is it's more like punctuation and numbering and lettering and a lot of that. But there is a couple of substantive parts in here, and one of them have to do with the PVDD.
Right.
I'm sure that's what you'd like to discuss.
Yeah, that's a
yeah, sure.
good guess.
Yeah.
So Wallace McKenzie, 4 Depston Lane.
Yeah.
So if the PVDD, section 9.5, and this goes back a couple of years where I had noticed, and then Bill Gustus had agreed that you have to kind of call out what is not permitted in the PVDD. And so they included the adult entertainment not being allowed up here, and now the medical marijuana, but there seems to be something with the misnumbering. And at the time we had asked Mr. Farrier of the planning board what else should not be included up here. And the reaction from the planning board was submit a list. So we actually went through the list, highlighted what we thought should be not included. We've never heard back from them. We sent a couple of times. So I'm wondering, can we send that along to the board and have you discuss it with the planning board about some of these additional uses that should be not permitted up here?
At the PVDD?
Yes.
Well, I believe, doesn't any changes to the PVDD have to go to the state level first?
Yeah, two things. One, any change to the PVDD is supposed to be approved by the state in advance. I don't believe these have yet.
Okay.
Also, Wally, this is just a mechanical process for us. They send them to us. We have to send them back to them.
Yeah.
They still have to have a public hearing on these. So we can send our comments, your comments to them, but you can also go to that public hearing.
Right.
So, but I think we could have an issue with the fact that these haven't been approved by the state. And it's my understanding any changes to PVDD need prior approval of the state.
Okay.
But to answer your question, if you have stuff you want us to send to them, we can absolutely do that on your
Okay,
behalf.
thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Wally.
Thank you.
So I take a motion to refer these zoning article changes to the planning board for a public hearing?
I really have a problem with this. I don't know what I'm voting on other than just pushing this back to the planning board. And, you know, we have another issue here with groundwater protection district.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that we're just acting procedurally, but I have a problem pushing something back that I just might not agree with.
That's why I was hoping somebody would be here from the planning board to discuss it, that and then I was hoping Mr. Dressios was here because he's the one who presented these, so. I'm not sure why.
Can we delay the vote until
You really can't because you
next
only have
meeting?
14 days to refer it back to them.
Yeah,
But they'll have to come back to you, like you'll have the opportunity to vote on these, whether you support them or not before town meeting. Again, the law requires that any zoning articles be submitted to the Board of Selectmen. We'll then have 14 days to refer them to the planning board for a public hearing.
Right. So it's gonna go to the planning board, then come back to us. So we'll have that, okay. So again, I'll take a motion to refer these to the planning board for public hearing.
So moved.
All those in favor? Oh,
Aye.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We also have a couple of town use facility requests. First is for the use of the common for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation Walk they do every year for May 22nd. It's a wonderful fundraiser that they do. I've participated in many times. And it's the Great Strides Walk they do, and I would certainly support it again this year. So I take a motion to use the town common on the 22nd for the Cystic Fibrosis Great Strides Walk.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Second request is for a banner request for Geranium Fest in the Field Day. I don't know if you participated in it last year or went to it. It was an expansion of our old Geranium Fest where they've added a field day and had vendors down there and merchants, and they've brought in a guy with a Batmobile and dressed like Batman, and have the public safety vehicles down here for you to check out and go in. It was a great day, and I think they're going to expand on it again this year. So they're going to put a banner up from May 6th to 21st. So let's take a motion to approve the banner.
So moved.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And last on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from January 4th. Any changes or comments on the minutes?
There's one thing that's not listed in here, and that is Mr. Lafferty specifically said he had a mathematical equation that he followed to arrive at his fuel budget. And I don't see any mention in here of that. And as a matter of fact, I've emailed him and asked him for a copy of that sophisticated calculation, and I haven't received it.
Yeah, I do recall you, Tom, also asking for that.
We can relay the request to Mr. Lafferty again.
Yeah, no, I will, but
And I thought he just said it was a 5-year average. That's the,
no, he said he had a calculation because the 5-year average doesn't work.
Okay.
You can't have a flat dollar amount based on a 5-year average when the cost is decreasing. It's illogical. So that he said he had an equation, and really we need to make note of this his statement, and I do want to see that equation.
I'll take a look at the tape because
Yep.
it wasn't necessarily, if I didn't write it, I have to now go look and say.
Sure,
I'll
go look
take
at
the
it
exact
again.
wording
Wait
out.
until next
I'll bring it
next
back.
meeting.
No, we had a
But-
bit of a
because I-
lengthy discussion on
Right.
the 5-year average.
Because, matter of fact, we said there should be enough of excess there to help out with the school buses.
Yeah, I think then you can kick it back just to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a discussion of changing the average, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 5 years. Okay, so I take a motion to accept the January 4th minutes, because your request of the information is nothing to do with, he can make the change and you're asking for that.
Well, it's subject to him verifying that there was a statement regarding a mathematical
You want to verify that
I'll
statement?
I'll find the part
Okay.
where he talks about the equation and just.
So
put that in verbatim.
we'll get that
Excellent.
closed out, and we'll accept these next meeting. Okay? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. She was sick.
I second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, appreciate it.
So when is the school budget?
March 7th.
March 7th. Next meeting.